So TILOS 8 has got a mass haul capability, so a new feature of the system. So firstly, in the library we have to create certain mass types, types of material that we're going to cut, fill, dispose of. We're going to cut rock, and so you create this for your specific situation. And then in the library, or directly on the mass haul diagram, of which there's another tab to control, you can create new areas, new mass areas. So we can say that this might be cut 1, whose ID is C1. What sort of material is this based on from our mass types library? What's the location of this cut or fill area, and what is the quantity that we're going to be carrying out at this place? So if we do 10,900 cubic meters on the mass haul diagram, it will create a graphic which is also in the library. So in the library there is a mass areas table, and we can import information into that area from outside. So here's a situation where I have imported and populated the mass areas by importing from a spreadsheet. So we have the mass areas in the diagram. We've got a number of other graphs that are available. So the top graph here is the difference between the existing ground level and the proposed road. So we can see in green the areas that need cutting, and in blue the areas that need filling. We've got a mass haul balance diagram, so we can see the state of our stockpile if necessary. But the next feature of the mass haul diagram is that we can create the haulages to say we've got a certain quantity of material here. It's going to be moved from our cut area 1, and we're going to put it in our fill area here. And in this particular case, we're going to accept that we're going to fill the whole, cut the whole area, and it's only part of the fill. So we show a little graphic that you can turn on and off on screen, so we can see we've used up all of the cut and we've only used up part of the fill. So if we take C2 and put it in the same fill area, then it's going to use up all of the cut 2, and it's still not quite filling up the fill area 1. So if we decide to take some of cut 3 to fill 1, then it will decide how much is necessary to fill up the fill area, and we haven't quite used up all of our cut area. So we can take the rest of that to our fill area. We can also say we can take part of our items to a crushing plant, for example, where we would need to process it before we could then use it. And so you can have these lines and diagrams on screen so that we can see the whole area in this way. So here's one that I've finished. So we've got an empty plan, but we've got a mass haul diagram that is complete. We can see it's complete, but we can take one of the haulages and we can right mouse click on that, and we can create, based on templates, the default activities, a matching pair of activities that are going to be created on the body of the plan. So we can see we've got a fill, the cut that goes to the fill, and so we can in this way populate our plan. We can do all of them at the same time if we want to. So we can populate a plan from our mass haul diagram. So it's a very effective planning tool. The volumes in the activities are drawn from the volumes in the cut and fill areas. So we're calculating the duration from the quantities that are coming from the fill areas. And we've also got a number of time graphs on the right hand side where we can see what the actual quantity of materials that is happening that we plan for, and the state of our stockpile if we need to create a stockpile. So the ability of TILOS to include mass haul diagram to plot haulages and to calculate activities based on that, as well as the ability to progress it. So in this case, we've got our mass haul diagram. We've added some progress to the plan. We can see what's happened, and also on the mass haul diagram we can show the actual quantities, and we can see how much we've achieved against what we should have done, and comparing that on the graph, our actual versus planned. So TILOS is also extremely useful, having been expanded to cover mass haul capabilities.